We're speaking with commentator Gil Troy, who's written extensively about Zionism and the miracle that is Israel, which is now celebrating its 75th year. Gil, has there ever been anything like Zionism before? And can you tell us about the many miracles it's produced here in Israel?
Zionism is Jewish nationalism. It emphasizes the fact that Jews are not just a religion, but we're what I call an Oreo cookie. We have a nation part and a religion part, and the two together make us not better or worse than anybody else, but just special and unique. And for thousands of years, we were exiled, lost, wandering, and we came home again. And so it's quite an extraordinary story. It's a story of redemption. It's a story of faith. It's a story of people. It's a story of nationalism in the best sort of way. And if we think about the miracles of Israel, it's not just that Israel has survived despite so many enemies. It's not just that Israel has been a democracy. It's absorbed 3 million Jews from all over the world. White, black, religious, secular, doesn't matter. They're all welcome. It has created a startup nation which is generating all kinds of miracles for the 22nd century. So here we are, we're Alt Neuland, Old New Land. We look backwards and we're rooted in a story of thousands of years, but we look forward and we're inventing the future. That's a miracle every single day.
With all the Jews have been through, I mean, slavery, exile, slaughter, the horrors of the Holocaust, what keeps them surviving, even thriving?
I'm calling us Phoenix Nation. We've been knocked down, but we get up again, and no one's gonna ever keep us down. And it's a matter of faith, obviously, that sense of believing in miracles, but you don't just have a leap of faith, you have a leap of hope. And what's a leap of hope? A leap of hope is that tomorrow will be better than today, and it's on us to roll up our sleeves and make it happen. And that's a very American story, it's a very Jewish story, it's a very Israeli story. It's about liberal democracy. It's about empowering individuals to work together, to dream together, and to build together. And there's a great Zionist song, when we build together, we also are rebuilt together. And that's the beauty of nationalism, that's the beauty of Americanism and of Zionism.
Every year at Seder, your family reads some powerful words about Israel from a deep Jewish thinker, Hillel Halkin. Can you share those words with us?
Absolutely. The Seder is a moment where we celebrate on Passover liberation, freedom, redemption. And this extraordinary American-born thinker, who now lives in Israel, writes, "A great adventure. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. There's been nothing like it in human history. A small and ancient people loses its land and forgets how to speak its language, Hebrew, wanders defenselessly for hundreds, thousands of years throughout the world with its God and with its sacred books. It meets with hatred, persecution, violence, dispossession, banishment, mass murder in the Holocaust, refuses to give up, refuses to surrender its faith, continues to believe that will one day be restored to the land it lost, the Holy Land, the Promised Land, and manages in the end, by dint of its own efforts, against all odds, to gather itself from the four corners of the earth and return there in 1948, 75 years ago. Learns again to speak the language of its old books, Hebrew. Learns again to bear arms and defend itself when necessary. Wrests its new old home from the people that have replaced it. Entrenches itself there. Builds, fructifies, fortifies, repulses the enemies surrounding it. Grows and prospers in the face of all threats. Had it not happened, could it have been imagined? Would anyone have believed it possible?"
Do those words speak to you? Like, are you proud that you live here, that you're an Israeli? Like, is this a great moment for you?
It's goosebumps. I'm living a miracle. You know, a friend of mine says that he grew up in the 1940s and he learned from his parents that in Jewish history, there are some horrors too awful to imagine, yet nevertheless possible to have happened. And in Israel, what happened was we took the inconceivable and we made it possible. And we showed that sometimes the inconceivable can be too awful to imagine, and sometimes it can be so wonderful that it becomes a pathway forward. And every single day, with all our challenges and with all our worries, we're living an adventure. Sometimes we have to dance through the raindrops, but we always end up bigger, brighter, and better. And in partnership with our friends in America and throughout the world, lovers of democracy, lovers of liberalism, lovers of nationalism, and people of faith. And that's what it's all about. And that's why we're the fourth happiest country in the world. Not because we have all the toys, but we have a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, a sense of community, a sense of togetherness.
Thank you so much, Gil. We've been speaking with commentator Gil Troy on the miracle that is Israel at 75. I'm Paul Strand, CBN News, Jerusalem.